legend! Yeah!
Alright, can you do that whole, flicking the rod thing, Rupert? Oh yeah, I got that. I think I'm going to call this catching bass. Hey Celine, check this out. How good is that? Honestly, what do you think? Honestly.
Oh, no, that's pretty shit.
Really?
Yeah, sorry. Try again.
I just wish I had like a great sailing photographer, someone like Michael Vanarey. If I was just to like,
Mate, hey buddy.
Yes, just the man I was looking for.
What's going on?
Mate, can I have some tips for sailing photography? I just can't get it down.
Yeah, sure thing.
Thanks, man.
Good.
All right. Oh, hey guys, how you doing? Yeah. All right, thanks, mate, for coming to see us. Just for a bit of background, Michael and I met on the Yacht Week a few years ago in Greece. I was route managing, Michael was a photographer, and so he was week in, week out making photos of people on boats, right? Since then, he's formed this company, Rome Travel PR, with another friend of ours, and they go around the world. That you've been working with Tiffany, Club Med, Four Seasons, some of these prime brands. Amazing work, and the perfect guy to ask for tips on how to improve photography on a boat. So I'd love if you could like take us on a tour of your backpack, if you don't mind, and then maybe give some tips on improving photography with one of these things. Thanks, man.
Alright, so this is my gear, and it's aimed really towards having a small form factor so I can weave in and out of these tight spaces like boats.
Yep.
So I shoot a Sony A7 mirrorless series. It allows me to shoot full frame, and it's a great camera to have around the boat for sure.
Yep.
As a pro.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of lenses.
Yeah.
So with me I have a 16 to 35 lens. It's an ultra wide lens.
Yeah.
To make things look spacious on boats. Definitely use this one, especially for event shots too, with 5 or 6 more people.
Yep.
I have my workhorse as well here, the 24 to 70. That's a zoom lens. It allows me to get semi-wide shots and then also zoom all the way up into that portrait kind of range, which is good. And I have a couple little sneaky primes. If I ever need to be like inconspicuous and appear as just an everyday Joe Blow, I'll walk around with a 35 prime lens.
What's a prime lens?
A prime lens is a simpler lens that doesn't zoom optically.
Oh, okay.
So
not a zoom.
It's not a zoom.
Got it.
So you have to zoom with your feet, as they say. If you want to get closer to the subject, you've got to walk towards them, and likewise walking away from them. So this is a great lens to appear as just like an everyday Joe Blow. Yep. Go under the radar, and with sailing, you're out on the water, and there's nothing better than having a drone up in the air to take those great lifestyle shots about showing you sailing in these epic locations. What a better way to do it than with a drone. So that's pretty much my kit. I have that, a couple of tripods, and that's pretty much it.
Unreal. Can you give us 3 tips?
Sure thing. So the first thing, especially with an iPhone, these DSLR cameras are fantastic about picking up the shadows and the highlights and whatever you shoot. But with an iPhone, you're a bit restricted. So the first tip I'd probably say is really be mindful about where the sun is, if it is out. Obviously something like this, it's a bit overcast, it doesn't matter too much. But when it is sunny, you really need to make sure that the sun is at your back as the photographer. So you've got nice sunlight falling on your subject's faces. That would be my first tip. Okay, so sun generally behind. Yeah, and you're a photographer, so you probably break that rule as much as you keep it. Always. There's always rooms to break any rule of composition, but we'll get into that later. My second tip would be teaching kind of the fundamental rules of composition about how you frame your photo. What do you mean? So I'd say a big one is a rule of thirds. To make your photos appear more pleasing to the eye, that your viewer's eye can be led throughout the image, you'd use a thing called the rule of thirds. If you were to divide your frame up into 3 thirds, both vertically and horizontally, you want to align a part of the image with your subject on that rule of thirds. It can be in the center, but you also, if you just got a subject looking out into the distance, it's great to put your subject into a third of the image and have them looking into the frame. Another rule of composition is leading lines. If you can have your image drawing the viewer into the distance, whether it be shooting down the line of the boat, and you'll have the leading line of all of the railings going to the front of the boat. There's always a better composition than straight parallel.
Got it.
To it. Yeah. Third tip would be always to have fun. You as a photographer and a director on a boat, it's really your main job, especially sailing. It's such a fantastic, happy lifestyle or moment for whoever's on board, that you want to kind of instill in your crew that everyone's there having fun, and that it's more important to have fun than appear serious in front of the lens, because I know a lot of people are nervous in front of the lens, and so the more photos that you take, the more jokes that you do, you play around with them, the quicker that they forget that there's a camera on board, that there's a camera, photos are being taken, and then you'll get those fantastic, candid, happy, wanderlusty feeling photos.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Awesome, man. Thanks for that.
No problem.
So in summary, we're going to look at where the light is, try and get it sort of behind us when we're taking the photo. We're going to frame our subject using rule of thirds or something, or leading lines or one of those rules.
Yep.
And then we're going to have fun. I get it.
Have fun.
All right. Yeah. I've got one more question. With shooting, we get great sunsets here, and if I wanted to shoot a person and a sunset, how do I do it? Because they're always too dark or something.
100%. Yeah, so generally with our cameras aren't as complex as our brains, and unfortunately you do have to choose. With a light source like the sun that's very, very low, you do, as the photographer, have to choose between the shadow on your subject's face or the exposure in the sunset sky, which can be a fantastic shot. If you do expose for the sky, you're going to get a silhouetted subject. So in that case, you probably have the subject looked at the sunset or at the vista that you're in, and exposed correctly for the sky, and then you'll have a silhouetted epic shot. That's good.
Okay.
Or you can expose for the shadow of the subject's face, but you'll blow out the sky, as they say, which means the sky would be completely white. So which in case you might move your angle so that you're not shooting directly into the sun, but you're in fact just kind of coming around the side a bit, and you can still get the sunset light on the subject's face. Oh,
so you get the great soft glow at the end of the day. You don't actually have the actual sunset in it, but you get the light from it.
Fantastic. Yep.
I get it. Cool. All right, so back to that shot I was taking of Rupert from, I think it's the Bakulest or something. How could we improve that?
Yeah, sure thing. I'll walk you through it.
All right, great. All right, so Michael, back to our subject here, Rupert from the Bakulest. How can we improve this?
Yeah, sure. Probably the first thing that I do would be to really kind of change up your subject to make them more beautiful. So, Rupert, do you mind just stepping out there for a second? And Celine, we'll bring Celine on, guys.
I quit.
We've got Celine here from the Sailing Virgins. Very beautiful subject. Hello, Celine. Thanks for helping us out. So James, what we're going to do is try to recreate the photo that you took earlier, but using those rules of composition that we spoke about. So she is fishing. So we're going to align her up with the rightmost third here, because she is looking into the frame. And we're going to use the line of the decking here as a leading line that goes into infinity. We're going to line her up in the rule of thirds. We're going to talk to our subject and say, you could look out into the frame there with a nice big smile. That's it. And we're going to take a photo like that, nice down at the eye level of your subject. You see a lot of baby photos and a lot of amateur shots where the person's just clearly standing and taking a photo like this. And that way you can't really see the leading line as much. But if you get down to your subject's point of view, you can really get a depth of where they are. So it's much better to shoot down low or at the eye level of your subjects in a portrait or a lifestyle shot. And that's pretty much how I'd take that shot.
Cool. Yeah, that looks a heap better. So, thank you, Celine. Thanks, Michael.
No problem.
Okay, so we really hope you liked this episode. If you did, like and subscribe. Want to thank these guys Celine, Rupert from the Bakulest, and Michael from Rome PR. Thanks everyone. See you later.
See you later, guys.
Sailing virgins.